Hey everybody, I'm with Pat, the NES Punk from the Punk Effect. Pat, how are you enjoying yourself today?
I'm hanging in there. I'm really exhausted. Day 3. But you know what makes it all better? This makes it all better. Arcade games, rare prototype games and systems. Play any console you want. This is what I live for.
I was going to say, I honestly didn't care for any of the newer stuff. I was actually looking for this, and surprisingly enough, ran into you here.
Yeah.
So, anything in particular bring back some memories for you?
Well, maybe not so much memories, but I'm very surprised to see some of the things here. They have a very rare thing like a Japanese Famicom box, which was like the M82 demo unit, if you're familiar with that. But it was put in hotel rooms in Japan with Famicom games inside. You could select in your hotel room what game you wanted to play. So stuff like that's cool. There's a Nintendo World Championships cart there. I'm not saying if I have one or not, but I would like one maybe if I didn't have one.
Going back to your show, how long have you been doing your show for?
Wow, I think it's 3 years this June that I'm have done this show. It's kind of like a wacky sort of. The reviews, it's a adventure series, I guess. There's a story that happens. There's women involved and twists and turns. And yeah, going to start year 4, and there's some wackiness to come, especially this summer. Be on the lookout for some serious stuff.
Probably from like starting with writing and playing in the games. How exactly does like the reviewing the game process go for you?
For me personally, I usually come up with an idea for how can I make a review interesting, or what can I do about this. So for example, like Panic Restaurant, it's about a restaurant, so I figured, okay, I'll just have myself at a dinner date. You know, and kind of work it in that way, like the short story. Because unlike, I think, most reviews out there, I have like a very strong narrative element that comes into play. So that's really what the challenge comes down to. I think about, okay, not only is it a game that I want to review, like Russian Attack, but how can I work into the fact that I'm going to be fighting a killer robot at the same time? So it's not exactly, it doesn't usually go the same way each time, but hopefully it turns out well in the end, the product.
It's never easy to kill a robot.
No, it's not.
Especially Robbie Robot.
No, it's not. He's very tough. He might look like he's made of plastic, but no. There's some alloys in there thrown in.
Got balls of plastic. So is there anything here, like, specifically besides this that you came here for, that you're excited to see? Because I'm sure you play current games, or is it just retro games?
No, actually, I do play current games. I bought LA Noire last month, which was the first game I had bought new for a current generation console in about 8 years. I'm not even exaggerating. So no, I saw some cool stuff today. I saw Elder Scrolls Skyrim. That looks impressive. How about the Aliens, Colonial Marines? That's going to be huge.
That was one of the things we tried getting into, and they wouldn't really let us in with anything.
Well, I feel bad, but it was cool. And obviously the Wii U. People online so far have said, it looks like gimmicky. I think the Wii U is going to be pretty cool. It's going to be able to compete with the PS3 and the 360 in terms of the hardcore games like the first-person shooters and modern sports titles. But then you also have the Nintendo first-party titles on there to play as well, the Mario games, Smash Brothers, Zelda, and all that.
Going back to reviews once again, was there a certain time a game has really frustrated you, or a point in a review maybe where you're just like, is this worth it?
Action 52. That was a marathon to play 52 games, and playing each game at least for a few minutes. We're not talking about 30 seconds. I'm like, I really want to see what the game's had to offer before I, gave my objective personal opinion of it. Objective personal opinion. At least I'm trying to be objective. And so yeah, sometimes it's tough to go through those games and record the footage, and then you have to code out what you did where in the footage, then actually write the review. But hopefully, like I said before, hopefully the people enjoy what's out there.
So was there a moment when you were like, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this, and like a favorite moment of one of your episodes maybe?
Probably when I decided to reveal to the world that I wanted to do dance aerobics in my Mario boxer shorts. That was probably one of the most. I said, I don't know if this is the best idea right now.
It's always a good idea.
Yeah, it's always good. The ladies loved it.
A big fan?
Yeah, they're a fan of the Mario boxers, sure.
Overall favorite game?
Overall favorite game? Wow, that's a tough one. You're going to have to go by genre.
Or even platform console?
On the spot. I always love games that kind of blend in genres well, or got you to think. I love ActRaiser for the Super Nintendo. One of my all-time favorite games. Not NES, but I love it. How about a game like, I don't know, Civilization for the PC? It did something totally new and original at the time, and it's one of those games you really can't stop playing once you get into it. In terms of the NES, I always go back to some of the favorites. Some of the games I reviewed are my favorites. How about Baseball Stars for a sports game? How about, if you're looking for a rare platformer on the NES that's really good, did it come out in the US? Gimmick was by Sunsoft, that didn't even come out in the US. It only came out in Japan, and it came out in Europe. So search out games you like, and you'll find what interests you. I mean, there's plenty to choose from. It's just hard to narrow it down to one or two.
Okay, is there a console where at one point you were just like, I can't believe looking back at it, like I can't believe they made it, like the 3DO or Virtual Boy, something like that?
You know what? I try not to get into that because at the time, a lot of hard work and effort went into, and research development went into a lot of these systems, hundreds of thousands of hours of manpower and thinking about what they should do. So it's hard to say. Obviously, there were some ideas that were better off than others. The Virtual Boy is one of those ones where it's like, that wasn't the best idea. The 32X, I think, was a really cheap way for Sega to try to extend the lifespan of the Genesis, when they really should have just went right to the Sega Saturn.
It was like the Neptune, right? Was supposed to be the individual console? Or?
Yeah, they have it on display over here. They have it was supposed to be an individual console, but they should have just skipped all that BS and went right to the Sega Saturn. And I think it would have done better against the PlayStation. But hey, that's what happens. A bad decision. How about the Atari? The Atari really should have went straight from the 2600 to the 7800. They really could have if they wanted to, but instead they tried to bridge it with the 5200, which was not a success at all.
So one last question, Pat. Is there any future reviews or anything on your site you can tell us about?
Well, E3 coverage will be on my
No way.
Yeah, and on RetroWareTV.com. That's who I'm here representing. I do have some reviews lined up. Like I said, there will be one you will definitely hear about probably later this summer. Might make some splashes, make some waves. Splashes, waves. It'll make both.
Splashes and waves. It's going to be a tsunami.
Yes, sure.
All right, so check out the Punk Effect. Watch Pat's show, because we're telling you to, and we're violent. Pat, thank you very much for your time.
Sure, Andrew.
Thank you.